Are we on? Okay, now we're on. Okay, right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to VUP. We are your hosts, Unova and Vulcan.
Salutations. This usually will be coming every Friday evening. However, due to some power fluctuations in my current vicinity, I was unable to do it on Friday, so we're bringing it to you today. I apologize for the late release. Hopefully, I'll be able to get the schedule up back in future. And why don't you introduce them to the topic now, Unova?
Oh, very well, my brother. Let's start by talking about what the heck is Cardfight Vanguard to begin with. Cardfight Vanguard is a trading card game / anime that was created by Bushiroad over in 2011. And it's been one of those new gen card games animes that have been competing not as successfully against Yu-Gi-Oh! Run by Konami, essentially, but still is pretty interesting enough to still have its own championships, regional series, and a volume of fans, essentially, to its products.
Well, I mean, when it comes to Vanguard itself, there was a point in England, because I'm English and I can say this. There was a point in England where it just dwarfed Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! In England is pretty much dying, at least in the areas I'm in. Vanguard's one of the games that kind of knocked Yu-Gi-Oh! Off its pedestal, but it's mainly been Magic the Gathering because for some reason people love that game.
Yeah.
We're not here to fire shots.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about Magic the Gathering, though. That might prove to be a very specific video.
I could talk for fucking ages about Magic the Gathering, but not going to.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely decided to put in our own sense of schedule for these podcasts now. So it won't be the same as episode 0.
Yes, for the next 4 episodes, we'll be talking about the multitude of different fandoms we're in. Holy crap, there's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Mainly doing a variety of different videos. So if you don't like that thing and want to wait for the anime, then don't worry, we'll probably do an anime. But if you want a suggestion, make it in the comments below.
Yeah! Yeah, we'll definitely read them afterwards, and be sure to take your guys' criticisms and critiques honestly. All right.
And if anyone insults us, I'll read those at the start.
Yeah. So Cardfight Vanguard, more specifically, talking about the intricacies about it, it's a card game in which you play with one central unit known as your Vanguard. And that unit is the most important thing because the main goal of the game is to attack your Vanguard 6 times, dealing 6 damage in order to win your match. Win the game, essentially, in this case. But don't worry, if you think that you're by yourself as a Vanguard, then you're mistaken because your deck comes with a variety of support cards. In which it comes with grade 1s, grade 2s, grade 3s, and grade 0 units that are perfectly able to be used in either defense situations when your opponent is attacking, attack formations in which you decide to attack your opponent with your Vanguard alongside with any rear guards, and any other colorful abilities that you would like to use your cards with.
Such as powerful dragon abilities that can just destroy every unit on your field, but that's me being spiteful.
Yeah. We're not going to be talking about those specifically until a much later portion of this podcast. So
yes, to begin with, since this is an anime episode, we shall be talking first of all about the not Yu-Gi-Oh! God, I can't get that off my tongue. Yeah, the Cardfight Vanguard anime that is currently watchable on YouTube. It should be somewhere related to this video, because YouTube likes to sell more popular videos than us. So if you want to watch it, go there. If it's there. If it's not, you can call me an idiot in the comment, and I'll read it in the next episode. And I agree. So let's talk about, since you're more knowledgeable of this anime than me, my friend, how about you discuss your opinion of the Vanguard anime, or animes, however many there are.
Okay, there's 2 series relating to Cardfight Vanguard. That is the OG original one that aired in 2011 that ran all the way up until 2014, which stars the main character Aichi Sendo, the main character who wields the power of the Royal Paladins for for 1 season, then Gold Paladin for 2 seasons, and then he's gone altogether for the last season, which gets replaced by everyone's favorite douchehole, Kai Toski.
Boo, hiss. And then that one person in the background going, "Oh my god, he's so handsome." That's what I perceive the audience would be saying.
Yeah. Well, in the case here, like for the original Vanguard series, since I've watched all of it in both English and in the sub version, let me just tell you this. The first 2 seasons of Vanguard, or like, you know what, even the first season of Vanguard is probably like the best card game anime we ever got. To tell you the truth.
I have to agree with that. I mean, it's really... There are annoying points, and it does get some card game anime bullshit going on, where it's like, it all relies on this one thing. Oh, and he's done it. He wins. And it's like, it's classic card game anime fluff, but it's just so interesting. It's so well paced, in my opinion, the first half of it, that it's kind of forgivable to a degree with a lot of those points. Because like the first half of him just learning how to play the card game.
It's so great.
Finding other people. And then, spoiler warnings, guys, until season 2, which I have a really big fucking problem with, he doesn't win every fucking game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like seriously. Aichi is literally one of the most relatable characters. Even if you don't like the shy and demure boy character that you usually see in a couple of animes, his characterization works so well for the narrative that they're going with with the first season of Vanguard, even going up against his rivals and / idol in the form of Kai, the guy who got him into Vanguard in the first place. Like, it feels like we get a whole world-rounded cast, like in which, like, in the team that Aichi eventually becomes of, he's not even the captain of this team, mind you, in the first season. Like, he's actually just like a substitute in case like one of the people doesn't make it, which there are some reasonings why some characters don't make it. Case in point, Misaki. My goodness. They made such a beautiful female character for a card game anime, and she's not even worthless. Oh!
But she doesn't talk much.
She doesn't talk much, but there's a reason why.
I know.
She keeps like, to herself a lot.
They made an amazing character in a card game anime that isn't useless. But she barely talks.
Yeah, but she barely talks. But once you get into like her backstory episodes, which I'll vaguely mention, it's some of the most tear-jerking moments you'll ever see a guy cry. And it's just like, even when the 2 other team members didn't do anything wrong, they're still wanting to forgive her for even giving like flashbacks to her. So it's like, the reason why she's like so broken up is because like her thing is that she has such an amazing memory, but it shows like the dark side to it. And it's the fact that certain people in her life are gone now, and just she can't quite forget them. She remembers everything.
Well, that was such a pretty interesting topic as well, because it was sort of like the idea of, you don't want to forget someone. What you want to forget is how you're choosing to remember them. And it was such an interesting like plot they went with. However, the only downside is that made her unbelievably OP after that episode. She was dominating a lot of people in the anime in season 2, which I really don't like.
Wait. But then again, she was weak at the beginning of season 2. Don't forget about like the time she was losing in the first 2 circuits.
Oh yeah, only because okay. I need to before I get I'm gonna rant about season 2 in a minute, but the first half is really good because it kind of dips into the whole Yu-Gi-Oh prospect of magic. and doesn't actually go with it. And it's really interesting because it's sort of like, wait, is this actually happening? Are they actually connected to the characters, or is it just their imagination? Then the series kind of backhands that idea, and it's like, nope, there's this thing called psyqualia, and it makes you win.
Yeah, psyqualia.
And it just then really turns into a plot-driven story, where beforehand it was sort of, plot was there, but it wasn't driving the characters. And it was like, okay, this is a plot-based duel. Aichi's gonna win it.
Yeah. Okay.
And now that Aichi just gets really OP.
Okay. If we're gonna be talking about this, I'm gonna have to skip over the first series to talk about the second series. And
honestly, I only brought up Psyqualia because Psyqualia is such a prominent thing in season 2. And oh my god.
Well, thankfully, it's not prominent in season 3 or 4,
which I still need to watch.
Yeah. Okay,
well, but I'm not a complete Vanguard fan.
Yeah, but that was only because of like a certain clan of his wasn't getting any dang support for over 2 years.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing about Vanguard. It forgets it has other clans a lot. If you don't have the super duper dragon clans, you're gonna get rolled over, and it's only until the most recent championship have my favorite clan, the Royal Paladins, been all like, "We're back, bro," but only because of one support gimmick. So yeah, if you get into it, you may want to research the decks beforehand.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you may get thrown to the wayside.
Yeah, which, by the way, like, if anyone's interested in hearing like my own deck recommendations for people, like, be sure to say that in the comments below. I'll definitely be sure to like give you guys pointers about like what sort of decks you guys might want to play, because I'm an owner of like probably like around 5 decks at the moment.
He's basically the me of Vanguard. But
yeah.
You should do that as like a series. You should just take each, like a video series on your channel. Just take each individual clan and just review it.
Oh
and,
my god!
All the stuff you could do with it.
Oh my god, that would be perfect. Oh, thanks, Vulcan.
Hey, it's cool, bro.
This is why I have him around. He's useful for good ideas.
Oh, so I'm an idea cow, am I?
I like to milk it.
This is the only reason I keep Vulcan here. He just comes up with ideas, and then I just take them, and then I leave him alone till he comes up with another idea, and then I take it, and then I leave him alone, and the cycle keeps going, and I'm just getting famous and famous and famous, and he's all like, nah. Is that what you think of me? But anyway, back to the point. Psyqualia is the most Deus Ex Machina thing I've ever seen, because it's like the Speed Force from DC Comics. It does whatever the plot wants it to do. Because at first it was introduced as just a way to connect with the people of like the cards and their physical counterparts on this planet called Cray, which is where the gameplay takes place on. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. So it's just sort of like a dual spirit thing from Yu-Gi-Oh! Then it's like, oh no, Psyqualia can help you see the victory. And you're like, what? And it's like, oh, this guy comes in who I can't fully remember the name of, red hair, shadow.
Ren Sugimori.
He comes in and he's like, I'm the champion. And he's like, why are you the champion? Because I use my mind to cheat. And it's revealed that Psyqualia can fucking see the future. And then you're like, wait, what? And then it's like, only someone with Psyqualia can be... Oh my god, it's like, only someone with Psyqualia can beat someone with Psyqualia. And I'm just sitting there like... So if I don't have Psyqualia, I'm fucked hard by this anime. And then it gets even stupider because it then turns into a drug addiction story. Where Aichi and don't get me wrong, it's really interesting to watch, but it's like Aichi gets so addicted to the power and winning through this thing, and Kai's like, no. So in a duel that doesn't make any sense on how the hell Kai won when he's dueling a guy that sees the future, he beats Aichi in a cliche way. Aichi detoxes and then goes against Ren, and it's like, okay. And like Ren's like, you've got to use your psyqualia to beat me because I can see the future. And it's like, the biggest issue with season 1 psyqualia is that I understand what they were trying to do. It's like this super powerful thing, and it's something that some people have, and you don't need to use it, but it can be a very exploitable power. The downside is when you have an ability that lets you see the fucking future and you don't control it, it makes me think when I watch like Ren or Aichi duel someone, it's like, dude, you can see the future. You've won. Like, that's Oracle Think Tank, but a physical ability in your brain.
Yeah.
Like, how do you lose? And I'm honestly overglorifying it. It's only because of season 2, which we're about to get into, why this ability makes no fucking sense.
Well, season 2, we got introduced some new characters since the scope of the game expands beyond Japan over to a lot of Asian countries close by to it, including Singapore, in which we get our first new psyqualia user, Christopher Lowe.
Oh yeah, before we keep going, spoilers, by the way.
All right, well, this guy...
spoiling season 2. This is not a review again, this is us or me, ranting.
Well, in season 2, Christopher Lowe is the leader of the team known as Team SIT Genius, and there are a bunch of young kids who are going to college, mind you, for Vanguard, since Singapore apparently in this universe has like an accelerated like militaristic school program in which those of the brightest mind essentially skips multiple grades and are able to attend higher learning education at the age of, I think it was between 8 or 10, like the same age as Kamui, one of the other main characters and part of the team that Aichi's in, known as Q4.
And okay, so this is a really interesting plot point, because it's sort of like, because the main plot of season 2 is it's a worldwide Vanguard tournament, and it's such like it's a big thing. They play it up as this massive thing because it's rarely ever happened. Well, no, it's not rarely ever happened. It's the first time it's happened. So everyone's like, oh, you get to go to all these different countries, and you get to go, and they go to these different countries and all these different people, and then we start getting more psyqualia users, and we start getting hints of what psyqualia is. But what makes me laugh about season 2 is all of it's forgotten in season 3.
Yep.
Like, spoiler warning, Aichi becomes, like, in the top 3. I don't remember if he wins it. But all of that is, like, he's a worldwide champion, guys. He's beaten people more intelligent than him. He's, again, outsmart and outstrategize people who are smarter than him and skipping school generations. And no one knows who the fuck he is in season 3.
Yeah, in this school, because like they try to do like a more realistic type of setting in which like he's going to school in Japan, like in a apparently like the school that like he was once bullied in elementary school, apparently. Which that is kind of interesting in its own right for a bit of a backstory with a certain new character that they introduced that I instantly fell in love with and decided to make him my absolute favorite character out of all of Vanguard.
And you constantly compare me to him.
Yeah, but it's in a good way. He is that great.
I know. But this brings me to the first point of why I hate season 2, because it's fucking pointless. You don't need to watch season 2. You can just jump on season 3. And that's really sad. It's interesting, but it's really sad because season 2 is barely ever referenced at the start of season 3.
Okay. And you want to know something even worse?
Okay, I'm sitting here with an open wound, and you're just ready to pour that salt in, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, let's do this.
Season 4 is also skippable. Even when the English dub decided to skip it in order to dub G, like, except for some references about anything about season 4, including the movie. Oh my God, Aqua, no! God. Why? Okay, but...
Yes, my brother, I do not do it.
Memes.
But,
yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, honestly, if you want to get a good experience with Vanguard, watch season 1. If you want to know everything about the new rules of the game from season 1 onwards, watch the rest of it. But it's honestly, like, you can just skip every season.
Yeah, like you could skip like after season 1, you could basically skip like every season, even though like in season 3 there is an amazing story at the latter half after the normal school life that they try to push with like Misaki and Aichi going to the same high school.
The downside is you need to watch the anime to understand the movies.
Oh yeah.
Of all the jumping on points they make in this series, the movies are not one of them.
Yeah,
because I've only watched season 1 and 2. I watched the movie. I was so fucking confused. I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Wait. Which movie are you talking about?
The one with the deleters that we both watched.
Oh yeah, Neo Messiah. Yeah. Well, that movie is actually very important if you want to understand the backstory of one of the characters in G.
Oh, so it's canon. Jesus Christ.
The character comes back and is like basically like the Kai to the main character of G.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But that makes it a little bit worse because I had no idea who these characters were and how important they were supposed to be. And it's just like, it's funny because in Vanguard they really show you most of the game. But in the movie, they're like, fuck that. And it's just all this siege. It's like this animated fight of all the card characters just beating the crap out of each other. And then when you look back at the game, this is like a 2-minute jump, by the way. Like the main 2 characters have lost like almost all of their life. And the other guy's just sitting there like, I'm winning. And you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, Vulcan, but that problem doesn't stop.
What?
I wanted to talk about G and my gripes with it.
Oh, okay. We'll save. Okay. I'll wrap up this point then. Vanguard Season 2 talks to the idea of psycholia, gets into a shit ton of plot holes. Holy fuck! There's a ton of plot holes in Season 2. And honestly creates the most stupidest fucking villain I've ever fucking seen. Which is all, by the way, build up to the villain in Season 3. And I'm just like, there's no reason for Season 2 to exist. There was no reason for Season 2 to exist.
Except for introducing a bunch of characters.
Except for introducing the characters, which they could have done in Season 3. And also the build-up of the main villain of Season 3, which is Link Joker. That whole thing in Season 2 was done by Link Joker, right?
No. It was done by Void.
Void, which then made Link Joker?
Yeah.
So, and isn't Season 2 longer than Season 1?
No, it's not. It's only 45 episodes. It stops at like 103. Yeah, Season 1's still longer by 15. Thankfully.
Yeah, because Season 1 takes the time to express and develop the characters and situations we're in. Season 2 is like, nah, mate. Fuck that. Here's the plot. There you go. And it gets really confusing, and there's like an entire... I'm going to stop talking about this. I'll get into Season 2 in another episode.
Yeah, like another episode, like if we dedicate an entire podcast.
But there's one thread that if you pull on it, the entire anime story in Season 2 falls apart.
What is it?
It's that fucking flimsy.
What is it, Vulcan?
I just said we would.
I'm sorry. I did. Oh man, I'm sorry. Sorry. Like,
okay, basically, the idea is Psyqualia was given to all of the people who have Psyqualia to be avatars. I think it was either to fight or to fight for the planet Krei, which has been consumed by the power of Void. And essentially what happens is, in order to show the power that Void has, when it fought all of the United Clans, it stole Kagero, Royal Paladin, and Shadow Paladin all together. So Aichi loses his deck, by the way, and gets Gold Paladin, because we don't have enough fucking Paladins in this series.
And then Kai gets Narukami,
which is another fucking dragon set, which is all about lightning, but then gets fire dragons at some point.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Well, I've seen some Narukami cards that have been breathing fire.
Really?
I think I saw one, yeah.
No, like I haven't heard of any Narukami cards playing with like fire, like in their art, because like that would be stupid. That would be stupid.
I love how you almost said something and then stopped yourself. You're like, don't say that. Don't say that. But so the main guy who gave them Psyqualia gave them all Psyqualia to unite them together to help fight off Void. Then it's revealed that Void came to one of them before he got Psyqualia and made a deal with him to resurrect the dead clan of the
Aquaforce.
Aquaforce. And use them to help, and use him as an avatar of Void rather than avatar of Krei. And then it makes you stop and you think, wait, fucking what? Because this guy I think he could sense the Void as well. So he went to the guy who was made a deal with the Void, couldn't detect it for some. They don't explain this, by the way. He couldn't detect it for some reason. Gives this guy Psyqualia, and bear in mind the Aquaforce were in the story of Krei, and as well aware to this character as well, were meant to be dead. No one used them at all, ever. There was like this clan of people for some fucking reason stuck underneath this island and waiting for this clan to be resurrected. And it's like, who the fuck are these people? Why are they waiting for a card game clan to come back? And so this kid who gives them all Psyqualia knew the Aquaforce was dead, didn't raise an eyebrow to them being back, and gave Psyqualia to the guy who made a deal with the Void, who was infested with the Void, with the dead clan, and then is totally surprised when he turns out to be the bad guy. And it's like, dude, you're a fucking moron. And it's like, oh my god, it's such a mind fuck. Because working all that out took fucking forever. And the anime just is like, this is such a big reveal. And it's like, no, it's more like, he's such a fucking idiot. And oh my god, I hate season 2 for that. Because he then just blazes through all the Psyqualia users. It's fucking hilarious though. He's a fucking beast. He's like, I'm the bad guy. Bam, you're done. Bam, you're done. Bam, you're done. I love it. Okay. It makes no sense, but I love it.
Okay, for me, like, yeah, you definitely have some right points to make criticism about season 2, and like how, like, really, like, and also about like your certain opinions about the end of season 2, which. Now thinking about it, the end of season. I forgot about that. Let me tell you, I'm now rightly pissed as well now. I feel there's no point in the existence of Gold Paladins. Or there was even a point in the first place to have Aichi get like the Royal Paladins, move over to Gold Paladins and make copies. God dang it!
Okay, for those of you who haven't watched Vanguard Season 2, there's an even more stupider thing than what I just said, if you followed what I said. Aichi at the start of Season 2 loses his Shadow Paladin, Royal Paladin deck fusion because the clan has been taken on the planet Crane. So this kid's like, you can't have that deck, so he gives him gold paladins instead. So Aichi, so it's an interesting plot because Aichi then spends the entire season with gold paladin, and at the end of the series, when he wins, because he's a protagonist, he's about to give the gold paladins up, and he's like, but they got me here. I can't give up the gold paladins. And I'm just sitting here like, fuck you. Because in Season 1, it's established that the Royal Paladins of Royal were the deck he built from the very beginning. They were a deck that Kai gave him, like a card that Kai gave him at the very start of the series when he was young. And that card gave him strength, gave him confidence, and then he built the Royal Paladin deck based upon that card. And that deck gave him strength, gave him integrity. And then he gives them up because he got attached to another deck. So the Royal Paladins are like, oh, we won't make you choose. And then they merge. They don't like have a Gold Paladin, Royal Paladin fusion deck like he does at the end of Season 1 with Royal Paladin and Shadow Paladin. No, they're like, we're just going to turn into Gold Paladin cards because we want to make fucking money. And it's just such a... The whole Qualia villain thing was a facepalm. This was just making me want to dent my face in the desk. I was so done with Vanguard after that.
And I can definitely understand it now. Why? Like, for me, Gold Paladins didn't need to exist. Like, okay, it could have been fine to have like a meta without any Paladin decks or Kagero support, like for like the Limit Break introduction, because that would have been okay. That was a good joke, Aqua. Money Paladins. That's what Gold Paladins really are. They're just sucking away the cash flow from Vanguard players all over.
Well, originally Paladins were a cash cow anyway, because we got... Sorry, I've got ice in my mouth. So we had Royal Paladin and Shadow Paladin. And bear in mind, all of the clans in Season 1 were individual. There was only one dragon set. There was only one beast set. There was only one sort of fortune teller set. And then we got 2 paladin sets. So you're thinking, cash grab already. And the villain uses Shadow Paladin because it's the exact opposite to the Royal Paladins. Oh! And then you're like, okay. And then Gold Paladin turns up and you're like, oh, this is like, you just know Gold Paladin is a fucking cash grab. It's so blatantly a cash grab. It's unfucking real.
Yeah. It's...
Because I'll fucking say it. Like Gear Chronicle, they're the most unfucking necessary deck in Vanguard.
Yeah. I mean, there's other clans that you can make that an example of. Like, the funny thing about, like, in one of the Dragon Empire clans, let's say Murakumo, apparently early on in the card game, they decided to split off and make another Ninja Dragon clan for Dragon Empire, known as Nubatama.
Oh, for God's sake.
And right now in G, Nubatama is more popular than Murakumo. Because, like, Nubatama got the villain treatment.
See, I don't want to complain about cash grabs because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is full of that shit. But when you make a clan or clans that are just rip-offs of another clan you've made, rather than... and then make that clan that was the rip-off more powerful and more meta than the fucking original clan, which you've just left to the wayside. I'm still sore about the Gold Paladins being left to the wayside, by the way, because Gold Paladins went fucking meta, and Shadow Paladins went fucking meta. Royal Paladins got fuck all. But it's just like, wow, fuck you. Absolutely fuck you. You're just here for money. And I lose all faith in fucking Vanguard.
I mean, for me, like, the only clan out of, like, the ones that you would call copies of, like, the original United Sanctuary clans that I don't mind is Narukami. And do you want to know why?
Why?
They made themselves an identity by, instead of just retiring, their focus is about binding cards from their opponent's zone and also multi-attacking at the same time. Like that sort of archetype, like after like what they did with like Vermilion, which was a copycat version of Overlord, except for it was with like the multi-attacking thing. Like if only Vermilion didn't look like Overlord, I would have actually liked every single archetype that Narukami ever did. Like seriously, like even in G, Vanquisher is so good. Naoki gets like a newer version of like Brawler of like a Gauntlet Buster Dragon for his current use, and that's freaking awesome. And I'm just like, Narukami, you actually set out an identity for yourself by like going with like a different element of attack aside from the element that you use for your attacks, which is lightning. And I'm just like, why didn't you do this with Gold Paladins? Why didn't you do this with Genesis? Why did Genesis have to be so unfocused? And like the only thing that really matters in Genesis is Minerva, really, which thankfully is getting support in set 14 in G. Which hopefully by then Genesis gets his act straight together.
Shit. Oh no!
What?
Someone plays Gold Paladin in the chat.
Yeah, that's Zolden.
Oh shit! I don't mean to offend Gold Paladin users. Like, no. That's not what I'm intending to do. I just believe the clan didn't need to exist at first. Like, if you play Gold Paladin, all for you. Like, you got a favorite clan, go for it. I don't really care what clan you use, because it's what you like. I just think that some things are, like, they were obviously a cash grab when they was introduced in the anime. And it kind of annoyed me they became more meta than the clan they was based off. Just making sure that I'm all cleaned up and I'm not a prick, even though I'm a prick.
But
no hard feelings, no hard feelings.
Yeah, no. Oh, dang it! He also plays Genesis. No, why?
I have no idea what that is. Well, I know what Genesis is from the anime. I just don't know what they do.
It's basically OTT, but about the soul. You know, it also does like the
stuff too. Cool. I've been thinking of getting into Grand Blue.
You're talking about Grand
Zombie Pirates.
like because like Vampire Pirate Queen or Boo Ghost.
Yeah, Zombie Pirates, man.
Or Seven Seas Rush, which I actually have a card.
Okay, I'm completely clean. Zolden's okay with me. Okay, he's a fucking idiot. No, okay, I'm kidding.
Okay, dude.
Oh god.
All right, okay. I think honestly now, I think we should talk about G now.
Yes, you talk about G, because I have talked a lot, and this is meant to be your episode. I'm shutting up.
All righty then. Okay, let's talk about my gripes with G. My God. The main characters. Like how should I say this? I have literally less connections to them than I did with Q4. Like, for example, Chrono. For much of the series, except for a few episodes in which he's featured with Ibuki, I don't give a damn about him at all. He is literally like a copy of Naoki, and I dislike that so much. It makes me wish that they chose Naoki to be the main character.
Boo, hiss, boo. Boo. Oh, Zolden's defending Chrono.
Chrono? Okay, Zolden, listen.
Oh my god, here we go.
Listen, the moments that I actually care about him is when, like, recently in Cardfight Vanguard GZ, between episodes 12 and 13, the Christmas episodes, mind you.
Okay, I think you're saying the name of that wrong. It's Vanguard GZ and GZ3 with Knuckles and with Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Because that's a long-ass title. Vanguard GZ.
Okay. Like in Vanguard GZ, Ibuki, the character you saw from Neo the Messiah, who's a good guy, who plays Messiahs now. by like the head diff rider Castile, and is sent to basically a shadow realm, essentially, in which like every single time you dealt damage, you receive a chain to your heart, and once you receive 6 damage, your connection to your Vanguard is immediately cut, is killed. And let me tell you,
what?
This never happens. This never happens before in the series, and it's like a one thing gambit.
People fucking die. What the fuck?
Yeah. And you want to know something? He's at 5 damage, and he literally can't even move, and he's about to be forfeited until Chrono decides to step in. And guess what? He plays Link Joker for the first flipping time, and it's one of the best moments of the series for the main character because he never plays anything outside of Gear Chronicle. And the reason why he's able to play so well like Link Joker is because Ibuki has been his rival since day one.
Okay, so hold on. You're telling me the main character takes... I'm guessing Chrono is the main character.
Yes.
FYI, guys, I haven't watched G or GZ, but he then takes over a deck he's never used before.
Mm-hmm.
And does he win?
He wins.
Okay, what the fuck? That sounds really OP. It's like, that's fucking Jaden. That's a fucking Jaden character.
It is a Jaden character. I'm telling you, like, this was one of the only moments in which I accepted the win. Because he mentioned throughout the fight, like, this is one of the only moments in which I accept his win, and it isn't like by like plot sacking, you know?
Okay,
because,
okay. From how I've just described that duel, and the way you've just said that's the only duel you accept, I'm very scared about the duels he has.
Okay,
I'm gonna be scared going into GZ. If the bullshit is real, I'm not gonna watch it.
Okay. Let me just tell you this, like. The reason why is because Chrono is like fighting for Ibuki's life, like a person that he's learned to care for, essentially sort of like a foster father to him because of how he's been watching over him ever since he started playing Vanguard, because his real dad is off knows what where, and it's like is being taken care of by his aunt. And it's just like he's been fighting like hard, like using the strategies that he's always seen Ibuki play against him, and multiple times he loses against Ibuki. So that's why he knows about the Messiah lock and unlock strategy. And that's not BS. You can easily do that in real life. This win. Because literally it's Chrono playing with a deck he hasn't been familiar with, and upon him winning, I actually cheer for him and feel happy for him as a character. Because he feels like he's exhibiting emotions. Like actual emotions you would feel in this situation, and not go through like some sort of byline of a shonen protagonist. So that's why like the Christmas episode is one of my favorite episodes of the entire G series. But now, except for that exception, let's talk about the main issue about Chrono. All of his decks are probably rigged. Like, no joke. It's maddening, really. Like, just like at first, Gear Chronicle was an okay deck. With like the limited support it had until GBT05 when Malum gets introduced and Ulratar gets introduced.
Wait, whoa. I thought it was so it's GBT and GBZ? What?
No. I'm talking about like the real life. I'm talking about the real life equivalent, like sets in which like the cards get released.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Generation Booster Box number 5.
Okay.
Like when that box got introduced, I immediately lost all my affection for Gear Chronicle.
Because Gear Chronicle is really OP.
Well, no. Before it wasn't really that OP. You could kind of consider like an alternative to Kagero, but instead of like retiring, you send cards back to your opponent's deck, which is kind of like a bit of a kryptonite for Grand Blue, since they need their cards in the drop zone. So that's what I thought of Gear Chronicle before. I thought it was like an anti-Grand Blue deck. But then set 5 came out, and that was when the bullshit started coming in. In which like Chrono basically wins like over 75% of his matches. And it's like, and many times he wins it by, whenever he's on his grade 4, triple critting.
What?
Just triple quitting. It's like one of the most idiotic things the series has ever done. And made me like just only watch it just to see how the new support goes. It's not even a show that you can really care for much of, except for certain episodes. And that was my main gripe about G. And why hopefully the third series doesn't pull the same crap as this.
I mean, like, that's the thing when you've got a card game anime. And I'm very sorry, my ranting and poking of the topic has extended this to 45 minutes. But,
I mean, then again, we're still in anime. We could probably move that other discussion stuff over to another podcast easily enough.
We can probably move the current meta stuff. Like, I say we finish up talking about G, and then we talk about the current revelation in the Vanguard meta and the destabilizing effect it's having currently. But when it comes to card game anime, you've got to be very careful because you can't make your protagonist lose too many duels, because then you're like, why should I watch this guy? He's absolutely garbage. But you can't make him. But then they run into the exact opposite problem all the time and having them win every single duel. And a prime example of this is Yugi in all of Duel Monsters and Aichi in Season 2. No, not Aichi Season 2. Aichi in the first half of Season 3. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah,
wins everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a difference between making a win OP in terms of triple critting, and then there's like what they did with Aichi and show tactical intelligence. Yeah, sure, you bank on a bit of luck, but it's an anime. There's got to be tension. It'd be like, I've just used this really OP combo to shut down all of you. Oh, tech game. No, it's going to be like, it all comes down to this one card. Oh, it's that card! Crosshair!
Like, no, seriously, Vanguard is a lot more effective with luck. Like, it's probably like the biggest factor in matches, which makes it easy for a noob to actually beat an experienced player 1 out of 1,000, just because of how lucky you can get. And that's what I love about the card game. Like, I consider myself like a luck-based character, and the fact that Vanguard is very luck-intensive, meaning that like any deck can win, even in a blue moon, makes me fall in love with it all over again, and why I heavily support it. But I'm not going to support the anime if it pulls more of this stuff in like G, or what they did like in second season or the first half of the third season of like the original Vanguard, because yeah, like probably like my favorite seasons would have to be like the first season, the second half of the third season, like the fourth season in some parts. And for like GC is probably like my favorite season because of just how entertaining it is.
Okay.
With Stride Gate being the second favorite season. Because fuck G-Nex. Fuck it!
Wait, hold on. How many G animes are there?
Okay, let me run it down to you. Let me just quickly pull it up for you.
I just processed that. How many G animes are there?
Okay, the original G, which went for 52 episodes. Then we get ourselves G Gear Crisis. Then we get G Stride Gate. Then we get G Next, and then we get GZ.
That's 5.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And are they all dedicated to the same plot or just the same characters?
Okay, same characters. Same characters.
Okay, if it
Like
was
Gears.
all dedicated for the same plot, Jesus Christ, we got another shonen.
Okay. Let me tell you the truth. G is basically the most vanilla that G ever is. Like, and there's only hints of supernatural stuff, but it doesn't go there. Gears Crisis and Strike Gate is probably like one of the more better written plots, in which it involves around a guy who was old friends with Chrono's dad, and his goal is to essentially take all the imagination force out of Cray and give it to Earth in order for Earth to live happily with no violence and such. Meanwhile, basically killing Cray.
Okay.
G Next is probably the worst season of G.
Okay.
And
duly noted.
And G Next is all about a tournament arc after Chrono loses his to the newest Nobutama player with his deck. That's how it all starts. It introduces a new Edgelord character who plays Shadow Paladins. And his team consists of the Edgelord himself and the Gold Paladin player of G, who I have no problems with because he's actually a decent character. He just said he doesn't get that many wins at all.
Okay.
But the tournament arc for G Next is one of the most contrived, overdrawn, boringest pieces of anime I've ever seen.
I feel like we should talk about that in another episode.
Maybe
I feel
so.
like
Maybe
because
so.
we've talked. If we keep talking about how each of these seasons are really bad, we're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah. Just know that like GC basically fixes everything that G Next was trying to set up. Introduce some incredible characters, though some of them are incredibly short-lived, such as Mega Colony's queen, Ghidorah. My God, she was waifu of G. She was the waifu, and they took her away after 4 episodes. Why? I can't. Why do you do this to me, Vanguard? You just had to take away one of the best entertaining characters of your series. And for what? To high up the tension? To give the win over to Kamui? Which, by the way, Kamui's duel with Ghidorah was probably my favorite duel out of all of G. Because guess what? Ghidorah, which is one of the characters that is taking over a human character that comes from Cray, actually falls in love with Kamui. Vulcan?
I'm still here. I just thought I'd let you burn that out.
And you want to know what's weird about it? Ghidorah is like the queen of like the insect clan Mega Colony. So when she means that she's fallen in love with him, it means that in reality, if she was in her real body, she would want to eat him. She would want to eat him. Yeah. She wanted to eat him and basically like Chimera Ant style, have his soul basically be reborn as possibly one of the most strongest units for her clan. That's what she wants because she applauds Kamui for his excellent card fighting style.
Vanguard seems a very interesting anime to get into.
Yes, it is.
Jesus, it's like humanity has declined. It's got everything. Anyway, moving on. Anything else you'd like to make about G? Because I think we should cover each season of G in later episodes.
That's fine. Like, I definitely don't have anything else to say right now because I don't want to be like plot spoiling about what's going on currently.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, because like right now, like I'm not gonna say anything until like the entire series is over for G, and then we can start talking about those things. Like in an overall series overview. So yeah, I think we should now move on to probably like our last topic for today, which would be the World Championships, which took place this weekend.
And what happened in said World Championships this weekend?
The dark horse of the dang tournament, Royal Paladins Blaster Blade takes the win!
I'm just going to sit back and just enjoy myself a little bit.
Oh, God. I immediately went dirty there in my thoughts. God dang it. Why? But seriously, Blaster Blade beat out basically what was an entire army of Overlord decks. And it was done by a guy in Mexico by the name of Jesus, or Jesus in the English vernacular. That's right, Christ came in and saved Cardfight from going into obscurity with how bad the meta has gotten.
I am not even going to touch that statement with a 10-foot stick. Holy crap. I will admit this took me by surprise, and I fell in love with it because, holy crap, finally Royal Paladin gets an expansion worthy of the meta, and not Alt Mile that's like, oh, summon these two, they get 2,000, end of.
It's not Alt Mile trash. It's not Alt Mile trash, which I'll definitely go over the character of Xion in the G retrospective, because Xion was a character that could have had potential to be entertaining, but lost it and just became bland cardboard, even more than Chrono. Yeah, so don't watch G if you're into Royal Paladins, unless you're waiting to see Aichi come back in the second half of next, because that's when he comes back. And it's an overall entertaining episode in which the best opening for G plays, and it's beautiful. So yeah, like Aichi's deck gets like a nice overhaul in which Blaster Blade finally gets a grade 3 version of himself. Hooray! And it's known as Blaster Blade Exceed. And you can get him today in his Legend deck. Or if you want to get the SP variant of him, go to set 11 and buy. And buy it. Because that's where the Royal Paladin stuff you want is in.
Understood.
Aqua, you mean like in the chat? Is that what you mean about posting a link of a fan art? But yeah, like let's see. I forget like the other character. I think it was probably like Shadow Paladins. That was the other deck for the top 8. Like Aqua Force didn't get any play at all. No, wait a minute. It was either Shadow Paladin or Link Choker that was in the top 8. But what the heck, man? That was terrifying.
What happened?
See, yeah. That was my roommate. He just interrupted me.
Okay, that's what happened. Jesus.
Yeah, like he just came in like and there was shadows.
I should rephrase that. I thought something had happened. Guy who won the championships this weekend.
Oh my God! We got a special guest, people. Come in, and we're gonna be interviewing with Jesus.
Oh God, I doubt that would ever happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should start focusing on wrapping this up. Hold on, how long have we been?
I think it's been an hour. I think it's been an hour, man.
Yeah, almost an hour. We've almost hit our mark. Holy crap, guys! We're actually sophisticated.
Hooray! Like overall, just like the World Championships have shown me and Vulcan that a rogue deck that is built for anti-meta and that stand triggers can be OP. I have a good feeling that the future of Vanguard is going to be looking a bit bright, especially with let me just talk about a bit about my experience with Awakening Zoo for finishing off this podcast.
Go for it.
Yesterday evening, I went over to New Jersey because I missed the pre-release that was happening over in Brooklyn. Though then again, it's done by that one card shop known as King's Games, which I adamantly, hopefully, wish you guys don't ever go to that place because they disrespect anything that is new. They just only like common trash like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, and they don't disrespect them. Meanwhile, for stuff like My Little Pony, they just like to sell off the promos that were meant for the new people. Yeah, King's Games is a horrible place. Don't give them.
I like how you said common trash like Yu-Gi-Oh! And one, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, and two, we talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! In the last episode.
Yeah, that is true.
But then again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is trash, and the game is broken. But
well, except for Variants right now. Variants right now is probably going to be the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Series.
Variants is a can of worms. We'll get to it another time.
Yeah, we'll get to it on another time, definitely.
The anime that is currently just limping by. But anyway, is as you were saying.
Yeah. Okay. In the Awakening Zoo sneak peek over in Jersey at the store known as Game On, which they're like basically like it's a paradise in Clifton, New Jersey. They're so welcoming, they're so friendly. They're even accepting to like people that might have a bit of like issues, but they're still good-hearted people. Like, it's a very open, welcoming game environment, which if I get the money, I'll definitely come back there for another tournament. That's all I really got to say about that card shop.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, we're not sponsored.
If that card shop wants to contact us, let us know.
Let us know. We'll definitely.
Let us know. We'll definitely take money for doing this.
Yes.
I would prefer to be paid for doing a podcast on YouTube over working.
Yeah. But let's see.
I need money.
Okay, during the tournament, I managed to win like the second round raffle and managed to win myself a mat of the new the Zeroth Dragon. That's the main focus of Vanguard GZ, Zora, who is actually my favorite of the Zeroth Dragons because she's so dang beautiful. Like a green dragon with yellow piercing eyes and butterfly wings fluttering about. Oh, it's just so gosh dang beautiful. It's like fairy dragon.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Can't you see it for my wife?
I can just imagine you when you're describing this dragon. All it's like there's a little thought bubble above your head, and it's just a body pillow of that dragon.
I mean, then again, the dragon isn't far off from Toru from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and I would definitely like to get a body pillow of that.
Okay, dude. That was the point where you were supposed to dissuade you getting a body pillow. You don't, when we're live on a podcast, agree to getting a body pillow of a dragon. People don't want that picture in their brains. I am sorry. I have subjected our viewers to that picture in... Oh, God, it's in my head. Oh, God, no. That picture in their brains. Next time we will talk about the beautiful Dark Magician and the Dark Magician girl, for whoever agrees with that sex and whoever doesn't agree with that sex, we'll talk about another attractive character that you would be attracted to. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that picture. I doubt anyone would want to see a pony that's a unicorn climb into bed with a body pillow of a dragon. Unless you're into that sort of thing, then go for it.
Unless you're, that's in my head. Rarity Spike Ship. Unless you're into the Rarity Spike Ship.
Oh, I'm not really into a woman dating a kid half her age. But anyway, that's a fandom for the fandom discussions that we'll do in the next episodes.
Yeah, in the next episodes. Last point I'd like to bring out is that even though I didn't pull out any of the cards I needed for like my big belly deck for Great Nature, which was one of the clans that were supported in the Awakening 2. I managed to get the cards needed for like a honorary professor, like the expensive card, like not the most expensive card that I need, but like enough for like the grade 3s for it. So right now I have consistency running for days in my honorary professor deck, which I'm going to be playing for the meta for 2018 with a Cardfight Vanguard team, which that is going to be amazing. Like, by the way, this is also a main reason why I decided to make this the first episode. I managed to get myself a temporary position in the Cardfight Vanguard team. Holla! Holla!
And with that, we will bring this episode to a close. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Vulcan Unova podcast, or the VUP, or VUP, whichever one you easily say. We'll see you next time for our next episode, where we conquer over Watch Mojo's top 10 MLP episodes and why that thing is fucking dumb.
Yep. So I guess...
Want to finish this close off?
Mm-hmm. As a certain card fighter would tell me, time to break your limits. Are you ready to reveal your true self in this card fight? Because it's break time! Ciao.
Goodbye.